Hello everyone, Niev here, and today we are going to go over my wish list for 2026. I have it at the back of my journal here. This is, of course, my tarot and spiritual journal for this year, and I have a wish list back here. Now, the wish list I have in my book here is kind of a catch-all. It's not narrowed down. It's more of a if a deck caught my eye, I'm gonna write it down here. And some of it's stuff that's been on my list for a long time, and some of it's new. Some of it's stuff I'm probably never gonna get. In fact, most of it's probably stuff I'm never gonna get. But if something catches my eye, then I put it on my wish list here. But as I'm doing a video of my wish list, I kind of wanted to narrow it down and create a condensed list of my most likely to get this year or before any of the other ones list. So I have narrowed it down to about 15 things here, and I'm going to go over that in a moment. So first, before we move to my computer and because we're going to look at the decks on my computer, but before we go to my computer, I wanted to go over the decks that I've already bought, and this is just going to be a brief thing. One of them's already in, and I will have a video of this walkthrough of this deck in February, but the other two are not in my possession yet. So all right, so the first deck here, this was on my list, and I bought it right at the beginning of the year, and it was the first deck I think that came in this year, I think, yeah. And that is the Echo Tarot. And so I'll just show a few cards here, but I am going to have a full walkthrough of this in February. So yeah, love it. I've been using it, so you know, it's out of order and stuff. Sorry about the lighting and stuff. I'm actually in my art studio right now, not my my ritual room, because it's freezing out there. So I do have some lights to bring down the shadows and stuff in my art studio, but the lights are causing glare on the cards. So good thing we're not really going to be staying here. We're going to be moving over to the computer. But I will have a full walkthrough of this deck in this month, so in February. And there we go. So that is the first deck that was on my list that I've already bought, and it's actually already come in. So the other one, the other two, one of them is the Unfinished Business Tarot, and I will have a picture of that up on the screen. Yeah, so I've had this one on my list for quite some time, and it was out of stock for quite a while, and finally some pre-order became available, and I jumped on it and bought it, and I think it's shipped. I think it shipped, so I'll probably actually be getting it in the next few days. I'm pretty sure. But yeah, so that is another one that I bought and should be coming in soon. And the other deck that I bought this year and is not out yet, it was a pre-order also, that is the Botanical Tarot Full Bloom Edition. And I've had the Botanical Tarot on my list for a while, and I just haven't gotten around to get it. And I was actually about to go buy it, and then I saw that they have a new version out, and I definitely want the new version. So the new version has like pink edging, and there's several new cards added to the deck. So really looking forward to getting that one in, and I will of course do a walkthrough of those. All right, so we are going to go ahead and move to my computer, and we are going to go over my narrowed down list. I have 15 items on this list, but it's very loosey-goosey. It's very like it's not set in stone. I may get the decks that are on this list, or I may not. You know, I may end up getting something that's on here that I didn't even add to this. So yeah, it's just kind of I've just kind of narrowed that list down to my current, like, you know what, I really want this deck, you know, list of 15. So let's go over to the computer and we will check that out.
Okay, hello everyone. We are on my Notion, on my spiritual page here, and we are not going to spend much time here because we're going to go straight to, we're going to start off with Amazon because we're going to just look at some of the mass market decks that are on my current wish list. All right, so let's go to Amazon. All right, so I am on a logged out page here on Amazon, and the first one I have on here is the Blood Moon Tarot. And yeah, so this deck it was on my wish list when it was still indie, and and then it went mass market. So it was on my list when it was indie, and I just, I never got it, and that's fine, whatever. And then it went mass market, and I wasn't sure, like, had I grown out of it, whatever. I don't know. But recently I've watched some videos of people who got the mass market version, and I was like, oh right, this is actually a really good deck, and one that I'd really been interested in. And and here's the thing with this deck. It kind of has the feeling that I wanted to get from, let's say, the Hush Tarot. I feel like this has some sort of vibe that's similar to that one. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but there's some sort of vibe that this deck has that reminds me of the Hush Tarot. And unfortunately, the Hush Tarot didn't sit with me. It didn't. I ended up passing that one along, and there's a quality that this one has that I think is giving me the same feelings as the Hush Tarot. So that's kind of why this one is on my list. And it's back on my list because it was on my list when it was an indie, then off my list for a long time, and now it's like back on my list. Now here's the thing. Here's the next one. The next one is the Lebanco Tarot, and it's the same sort of deal. And also these two decks kind of have the same feel for me. Got little pop-ups coming up. Yeah. So I also really love this one, but I sort of feel like they have the same sort of vibe. And like the thing is, I am trying to be a lot more conscientious about the decks that I bring in. I'm a lot more stringent on what my style is, what I'm drawn to. So, like, sure, I could get both of them, and I perhaps might actually do that. But yeah, but they do sort of have a similar vibe to me. This one and the Lubanco and the other one. Oh, go back. There we go. The Blood Moon. Yeah, so both of them have a similar vibe to me, and I don't know if I'm gonna get both. This one's like $10 more than Lubanco. So this one's more pricey, but I do like I like a lot about this. There's a lot about this that I like, and it does sort of give me that sort of that wild fae vibe. Yeah. So yeah, there's just something about this that draws me in. Yeah. All right. So those are the first two, and the third one is actually right down here. This made it nice and simple when I looked up Blood Moon because the other two of the other ones that were mass market ones were also down here. So the Lubanco Tarot. Which I am still very interested in, and ideally I just get both, but they feel very similar to me, and so there's part of me that wants to just do one or the other, and part of me is like, if I get both, I feel like they both are going to hold the same sort of position in my collection, and that's not necessarily a problem, but like, I have limited space. That's the problem. So the other one is here, the Folia Oracle, and this one I'm quite interested in. I like this. Okay. One, it's a round deck, which I think is pretty cool. I want to get a few more round decks. It does limit the way I read with them, a round deck, but it's still kind of cool. I like the keywords on this. I like the art on this a lot. Like I'm kind of getting away from decks that have a lot of like keywords or key phrases on it because to me, a lot of times those are distractions. So that's honestly the more negative aspect of this deck for me is the key phrase here at the bottom. I would prefer it just to say the number and title, not even the number, honestly, because when there's numbers for decks, I do get they can be distracting because I'll want to start reading numerologically. So sometimes I prefer them to just not put the numbers on there because I want to read it numerologically too, and read into like, okay, card 31 that is reduces to a 4 and warning. Well, that could work actually, but yeah, so that sort of thing. I like unless the numbers are part of the deck. I do just kind of wish decks would not number things. But yeah, so I would prefer if it didn't have the key phrase at the bottom, but I do really like this deck. So while I'm here, this wasn't technically on my list, but I will briefly talk about it. So I have never been interested in the Woodland Wardens Oracle deck. I know it's extremely popular on TarotTube and all that. It does nothing for me, like literally nothing. I don't know what it is. There's all sorts of pop-ups I keep getting, but I don't know what it is. It's a combination of an animal with a plant and with some sort of keyword at the bottom. And I don't know. It just like I like it's pretty. The style, the art style is right up my alley. But I don't know. I don't know what it is. But I don't love the animal with plant combination and then a keyword. I just it doesn't sit with me. And also they've got like giant borders on it, and I don't know. I never liked that either. So this was like this is one of those things where it's an extremely popular deck, and I have zero interest in it whatsoever. That said, I go back. The tarot of the Woodland Wardens is different, and I am more interested in this one. So this and I've seen some complaints on this one that it's too different from the Woodland Wardens Oracle, and people don't like that because it's kind of anthropomorphized animals here. Ooh, and that is so pretty. But I like that. I actually really like this one. And like this is more up my alley, I think. Yeah, and I really like this deck. So it's not one of the ones that was officially on my list. And like I said in the beginning, the little bit of pop up, I had 15 things on my list, but when I recorded that, but then by the time I'm recording this, I added like 5 more things. So it's not a set in stone thing. So yeah, so this is a maybe. It's, you know what, this is one of the ones I'll put on my wish list, like you know, like my Amazon wish list or whatever, and for friends and family to perhaps shop on. And if I get it, I get it, you know, so there we go. All right, so that's the first one. I'm going to go ahead and exit this out. So that was the Blood Moon Tarot, the Lebanco Tarot, the Folia Oracle, and I did also talk about the Tarot of the Woodland Wardens. All right, so next up, we have, this is going to be real quick. This is the Wild Unknown Alchemy. So the thing is, I keep pushing these decks back. So I have obviously the Wild Unknown Tarot, I have the Animal Spirit Oracle, I have the Archetypes Oracle, and now I would like to complete the collection and have the Alchemy Oracle and probably whatever else they come out with, because you know, gotta collect them all. But I am still interested in this. I think it's interesting. I like the different the style of cards. You know, I like that you could connect them in like a honeycomb sort of layout, which could go along with that tableau style I've been doing. So it's on my list. I'll eventually get it, but I don't think it's that's also the thing with mass market decks. There's not really a fear for the most part. I mean, decks do go out of print, but like for the most part, you can hold off for a while on mass market decks, and that's kind of the case for me with the Wild Unknown Alchemy deck. Because it took me a while to get the archetypes too, and honestly, I really only got this because I think someone sent it to me. Someone either gave it to me or sold it to me. I can't remember, but it was sent to me. And I think it was my last wish list video, and someone watched it and had a copy of the archetypes and wanted to know if I was interested, and I was like, hell yeah! And I do really like that deck. So, and I know I'm gonna like the alchemy deck too. It's just because it's a mass market deck. And that's my problem with mass market decks. I either buy too many of them because they tend to be cheaper, or I keep pushing off getting them because they're a mass market deck. So that's kind of where I stand right now with alchemy. I want it. I'll use it. I know I'll like it, but like I'm not in a rush to get it. If that makes sense. All right. So and I don't think there was anything else over here that I wanted to look at. So next up, okay, so this is Robert M. Play stuff. So there's not one deck that's on my list for this one, and this was the same thing last year too. I just had, in general, Robert M. Plays decks, and I was able to get one of those. I was able to get the Alchemical Tarot. Bought it from Honeyloo. Yes, Honeyloo. Yeah, Tarot, yeah, here on TarotTube. Yeah, so I got that. I am interested in the books associated with it. I think it's this book. Yeah, I think it's this book, but perhaps this might be an older copy of it. I'm not sure, actually. This might be an updated version. But anyway, yeah, I'm interested in the books for it. But I have, in general, Robert M. Plays decks on this list. I'm also interested in this book for some of his other decks. So the Buddha Tarot, this is something that I may get sooner rather than later, because this feels like a deck that's going to go out of print. And I want it. I like it. Yeah, I like this deck. I want to get it. And I think I'll probably I'm gonna have to try to get this deck this year because I feel like it's gonna go out of print. And the other one I was interested in was the Tarot of the Sevenfold Mystery. This is pretty similar to the Alchemical. Oh, this is a tiny picture. The Alchemical Tarot. So I am still interested in this. It's $40, but like not available like immediately on Amazon. It's like see all buying options. So I bet it's available on his website, and I could check that, but maybe not. All right, so let me go back. So yeah, I am interested in that. There's something about like his decks, Mr. Place's decks, that really appeals to me. And you know what? It is the like esoteric nature. The there's something about that sort of vibe that I really like. And so I also am interested in the Tarot of the Alchemical Magnum Opus. This one I like because it is simplistic, and I've been enjoying the more simplistic styles lately. And I think it's smaller. Is this smaller? I'm not sure. Or is it normal size? I can't tell based on the pictures. But I kind of like this one for its simplicity. Yeah, so that one's on my list too. Yeah, and I think that's it for Robert Place. Oh my gosh, the Vampire Tarot. This is the book. It is not the deck, because the deck is way out of print and is like goes for like hundreds of dollars if you can find it. But anyway, oh, also the Ukiyo-e Lenormand. I would be interested in that, of course, because it's Japanese themed. Though it doesn't have Japanese language on there, which is my preferred for Japanese decks. I prefer decks that have, and this might be the French version. Yeah, it looks like it's probably French, but that's fine too. I have decks in different languages. It does not bother me. But I am interested in the Ukiyo-e Lenormand. So this, I'm obviously just looking at what's available on Amazon, and if I go to his website, I'm sure it would be a different, I might be, some of the other decks might be more available. I'm not really interested in this first occult tarot deck, but anyway, so those are the Robert M. Place decks. All right, so the Witch Sister Tarot, this is a popular one. So the thing is, I really loved and had Tarot of the Hidden Realm on my list. I never actually owned this deck, but I had it on my list for a very, very long time and just never got it. And I still kind of want it. I feel like most people prefer the Witch Sister one, and I probably would too, but I also still really like Tarot of the Hidden Realm. So I feel like if I ever come across this one, I'm gonna snatch it up. But because it seems out of, yeah, it says out of print, limited availability. Hey, is it currently available? No, limited. Yeah, it's not even. Yeah, there's no even secondhand things. But anyway, so the Witch Sister. Yeah, I like this one quite a bit. This one has that sort of it does have that wild fae energy, but it is very Celtic, and I think because it is specifically connected to Scottish witchcraft and mythology, which does appeal to me, even though my path is more Irish paganism. I do find a connection with the other Celtic nations, like Wales and Scotland, and most of my ancestry is actually Scottish. So there is a connection there for sure. But it also it just connects really well with Irish mythology as well, or Irish um, paganism in general, and it just kind of has that vibe. And I love the way their faces look. There's something very deep and evocative and piercing, I think is a good word for that. So yeah, I really like that. It's on my list, and also technically the Tarot of the Hidden Realms, if I ever come across it. But again, it's like one of those things where it's like I'm not in a rush to get it, though, because Hidden Realms went out of print. Maybe I should be, but then that's some faulty logic there. But all right, so that's the Tarot of the Hidden Realms, and there was also, I think there was another one on here. Oh right, okay, the Hedge Witch Tarot. So this one's a new release. It came out in 2025, and I really, really love the coloring of this deck, and I do also like the vibe of it. It's one of those decks that, when I see other people using it, I love it. But when I go to add it on my list, or when I go to, consider getting it, there's something that just kind of stops me. And so I love the color palette, the art style, the color palette, and the theme in general. I do really like this. I just don't know. So here's the thing. It's really similar to the Force of Enchantment Tarot, and we have the Force Enchantment Oracle right here, which is also technically kind of on my list too. But yeah, because I do love the Forest of Enchantment Tarot, and it's kind of taken the place of similar decks in my collection. So I also used to have, what was it? Was it the Green Witch Tarot? I can't remember. It was something like that. It was like a Green Witch Tarot, something like that. And which is a really popular deck. Oh, this one. Yeah. I still have this, but I almost never use it, and it's on the chopping block, and also if anyone is interested, I'm willing to pass it along, and I will make you a bag for it. So I'll charge the price of the deck. Stop with the pop-ups, Jesus. I'll charge the price of the deck, so let's say $25, so that it pays for the bag that I'll make for it, and shipping. That's what the $25 pay for, because I'm not charging for the deck itself, because you could get that for this is on sale right now, but it's normally $32, but $25 is just fine price to me. But anyway, so if you're interested, I will make you a bag for the Green Witch Tarot and send you that deck with the book too. I don't think I still have the big box, but maybe I do. But anyway, but the tarot, the Force of Enchantment Tarot, kind of took the place of that in my collection, because it has a very similar vibe. And that's the thing that I'm worried about with the Hedge Witch, is this also feels like it has that same sort of vibe. And so same sort of thing with the Blood Moon and the Lubanko, where I feel like they're the same sort of energy. I get the same thing with this versus the Force of Enchantment Tarot. And so because I already have one, I'm just like, But I do really like the coloring of this. The backs are gorgeous. So it's one of those things that's like, I don't know. Oh, and then the Verdance Tarot. Oh, see, here I am adding things to my list. So I like this too. All right, it's too pastel-y for me. It's too pastel. So there we go. But it's tempting though. That one's tempting. And then there's the Ukiyo Tarot. Ooh, now I'm just shopping. All right, go back. All right. So yeah. Anyway, so this is a maybe. It's one that I'm really considering. All right. So now let's move on to we'll do Etsy decks last. I have three independent tabs here that are not on Etsy. So we have Terra Volatile. Okay, this has been on my list for ages. It was on my list last year too. And so it's an expensive deck. Well, I mean, 55 euros, which is like 60 something dollars US. And then also the expansion, 30 euros, so probably about 40 bucks or so US. So the two of those together, that's going to cost me over $100 probably, and then whatever shipping. And if I ever want to get the book too, that's an added price. So basically, if I want to get everything that I actually want with this, it's a pricey deck. It's pricey, but I love this deck, and this has that kind of esoteric, kind of old world vibe that I like. It's not quite the same as say like Robert and Place, but it does have that lots of different symbolism, lots of different lots to it that. A deepness, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. And so yeah, I'm super interested in this deck. It's just I keep pushing it off because it is pricey, especially if I get everything that I want from it. And so I keep putting it on my like wish list for friends and family, like specifically my husband, because if I put expensive stuff on my wish list, that's for my husband to get me. I don't expect friends or family to get me the expensive stuff. But I've had this on my list. But every time we come around like Mother's Day or my birthday or Christmas, for some reason parts of this are out of stock, and so he doesn't get it for me. He doesn't get this deck, and that's really the primary reason I have not gotten Terra Volatile. But I am still very interested in it, and I love the feel of this deck. All right, so next up, Cerulean Sequence. Okay, so I love numerology, and this is a numerology deck. And I was just saying that sometimes numbers on decks distract me because I'll want to start reading them numerologically. And here's a whole deck that's all about that. And I love James R. Eads' stuff. I get almost everything he creates, and they are some of my favorite decks. And I know I would love this one too. It's a very smart deck. It's a very intellectual deck, and I love it. And yeah, so I'm not exactly sure how I want to use it though. I feel like I would combine it with the Oracle of Many Paths, one of his other decks, which is also numerologically based. So I feel like I would probably use those together. I love the style of this, and I noticed that this is a deck that people really enjoy, but once they figure out the code in the deck, then they kind of stop using the deck, and that's probably not going to be the case for me. I'm very excited to learn the code in the deck, and to figure all of that out. But like this kind of deck is something that would actually be like important to my practice, sort of thing, and because of that, that's what I'm interested in, and that's kind of how I feel about his decks in general. They just they really cement a place in my collection. So yeah, and then the satchel too. I like that. I like getting his satchel and his coins and things like that. Yeah, cute. All right. Yeah, so that one's on my list. Next up. All right, so this one is one of the ones that I added after I did that initial intro, and it's been on my list for a little bit, and maybe, I don't know, okay? So this is the Tabula Mundi, and this is the pocket size, so it's actually, I just pulled out a ruler to see how large these cards would be, and they're actually quite mini, so quite small, but I am interested in this, and it's that astrological nature, it's that esoteric kind of vibe to it that I am interested in. This is a tiny picture, these are tiny, yeah, so I'm interested in this. And in fact, this kind of takes the place of the Star Tarot in my collection, because I have the Star Tarot, but I don't love it. But there's aspects of it that I like, and that I feel like this deck is sort of covering, if that makes sense. So yeah, it's very esoteric, very intellectual, cerebral. I think that was the word that I was looking for too. So these cerebral kind of decks, I've been more and more interested in and having as part of my collection. Yeah, so I am interested in this. It's one of those things, though. It's just like, I don't know. I don't know if I'm smart enough for this deck, but it's an awful thing for me to say about myself. So this is the one I would be interested in, because these ones are all a little bit too expensive for me. Honestly, I also like the smaller size for tableau style, and this is the Tabula Mundi. So yeah, so I would be more interested in the smallest one for multiple reasons. So there we go. But it's kind of like, do I actually want this? Or is this like a fantasy self? Is this a fantasy self? I don't know. I think that's one of the things that kind of prevents me from getting it. But when I see other people use it, then I'm like, oh yeah, I want that. Now we're going to move to Etsy decks. So first up, we have the Faceted Garden Oracle. So this is on my list. It was on my list last year, and it would round out my collection. So I have, let's see, is it down here? No, these are other, like, completely different decks. So I have the Rain Shadow Tarot, and I have the Illuminated Earth Oracle. This was sent to me by someone else on TarotTube, and I bought Rain Shadow. Yes, I bought Rain Shadow not last year, but the year before, and then Illuminated Earth was sent to me. So I would like to round out my collection and have the Faceted Garden. And I really love the Rain Shadow Tarot. There is absolutely something about this art style that I'm attracted to. I think it's the texture. I love the textured cards. Yeah, it makes me feel like I'm part of the card. And I don't know how to explain that, but this sort of texture on the cards is something that appeals to me. Yeah, this is beautiful. So this definitely, calls to me. And I would like to round out my collection. So there we go. So that is the Faceted Garden. Next up, we have another Mildred Payne Secret Pocket Oracle. So I have the original version that is the original size. So it's the small size, and the small size is actually the original. The larger size are the later editions, the deluxe editions. So I have the regular, this one here. I have that one, the Secret Pocket Oracle here, and I love it. It's actually my favorite Oracle, and I use it like a tableau style. So I'm interested in getting the deluxe version in the blue, the Seance edition. I like the blue better. I considered the red, the blood edition, but I think I kind of like the blue one more. And because these are the deluxe editions, so they're larger cards, they're kind of bridge size, I think, or close to it, 2.5 by 3.5, 6.4 centimeters by 8.9 centimeters. Which is like bridge size, I think, something like that. But I specifically want to use this deck for houses, to represent houses. You know, kind of like the houses in Lenormand, because I read the Mildred Payne. Here's the original size, here's the deluxe size. I read the Mildred Payne like it's a Lenormand. I use it tableau style. And I want to start using it with houses. So I like the idea of getting one of the different colored Mildred Paynes in the larger editions, as to act simply as a house layout, not reading the cards on their own, but reading them as houses, and then using my Mildred Payne on top of them as the actual reading, if that makes sense. So yeah, so that's, and I am actually, it's in my Etsy cart right now, so I'm probably going to get this very soon. And this is one of the things that I'm worried about it going out of print or, you know, or running out. So definitely interested in it. It's probably going to be one of the next ones I get. So in that same vein, next thing on my list is some stuff from Six Ed Girls. So I have the Mars Power Tarot, and I absolutely love it, and I use it with one of my Japanese decks, and I did a whole study. The study was more on the Japanese deck, but I was pairing it with the Mars Power, and that's on my channel. It's the Dragon Gods Oracle series. And it didn't get much traction. It was more of a personal project, something that I was interested in, that very few other people are interested in. But I did finish that series, so if you're interested in checking it out, please go check it out. But there's two other decks in that Japanese series that I also have now, that I would like to also pair with the Star Power Tarot and the Moon Power Tarot. So Star Power is probably, oh no, the shop is taking a short break. Okay, that's not terrible. They'll probably come back. This is what happens for me when I try to get these decks. A lot of times the shops go out of, they close up or they temporarily close and whatever. But anyway, so the Star Power Tarot is next up on my list. This is the one I definitely want to get next. Yeah, and I love it. I love this style. It feels very feminist to me, like kind of hardcore feminist, kind of angry feminist even, and I like that, and I want that, and I like that vibe. So yes, I very much love Six Ed Girls decks. And the other one on my list, oops, that opened a new thing. The other one on my list is the Moon Power. And here's the thing, we have they only have the holographic version right now, and I don't love the holographic version because I want the cards to be similar to the other decks that I have. So I would prefer just the regular edition of Moon Power. I mean, I guess if all I can get is the holographic, I would get it. But yeah, and maybe when I get it, it'd be like, you know what, I love this one. But yeah, so that one's on my list too, and I am really interested in it. And whenever they open back up, I'll probably get Star Power first, and at a later date, hopefully they come back out with a different. They must have just closed their shop, because I opened this morning and it was all visible, and now it looks like this. But that's funny. I think they literally, like in the past hour, closed the shop. Last updated February 2nd. Yeah. That's so funny, because I opened these, like I set this all up to do recording, and it didn't look like this, and you saw what it looked like. As soon as I clicked, changed, or refresh, went to the different page, it's so they just closed. But they're opening back up on February 11th, so I may snag the Star Power this month. We will see. All right, so that's that one. So that was Six Ed Girls. Next up, we are on the Cracked Amethyst. So I definitely have the Cracked Amethyst Tarot. I have the little mini Amethyst Oracle. I have the little mini Idiosyncratic Tarot. But I also really, really want to get the Botanical Tarot and the Oracle deck. Now, is the Oracle deck, I think it includes all of these little mini packs. Like it's a combination of the mini packs, perhaps, or full, or maybe it's this one, the Botanical deck full expansion pack. But it's not right now. This is like, it's open for pre-order, but like right now it's not. Or yeah, this item doesn't currently ship to the United States, so it must be this. It is the Botanical deck with all of the all of the expansion packs. Yeah, I think so. Or this is all of the expansion packs. I'm trying to figure it out. But anyway, I like this. I really enjoy Jessica Bott's artwork. I am interested in all of the expansion packs. So whenever this is available for the United States, I am going to pick it up. So I am very much interested in that. I really love this style of cards. All right. So that's pretty much it here. So whenever the Botanical Tarot and the all of the expansion packs together are available, I am going to get those available for the United States. All right. Next up, we have the Black Salt Oracle by Larkin Legend. Yes. So they also have the pink one. I think it's the pink salt. And I kind of went back and forth a little bit on which one I like more, but I think I prefer the black one. I think I prefer the Black Salt oracle. But this is right up my alley with the style, and this is exactly like the style I like, which is like, look, we have rice here, and there's no keyword on there. There's no like whatever, like fertility or whatever. It's rice, and I like that. I like decks that are just a title, because to me that opens up the intuition. And sure, I could do some, I could do some little research on Sakura here, Sakura flowers, and see, read a little bit on the mythology behind it, blah blah blah, or English ivy, whatever. But there's other cards that, like the charging cable, that coin purse, onion, incense. Like I like all of this. I like that style of card. I like the style of card that just has a title, not keywords necessarily, but a title. And the cards, I am actually not sure what size they are. These are the kind of cards that I would prefer be kind of small. This is 70 millimeters by 110 millimeters. I got a thing right next to me. So that's, let's see, 70. So that 70, is that like 7 centimeters probably? So, okay, I'm looking at the ruler right now, sorry. And then that's a height. So they're a little larger that I would prefer for this style of deck. I prefer something that's a little mini, like a little bit smaller, like bridge size or whatever. Bridge size or smaller is kind of my preferred for this style of Oracle card. So like that's honestly the only real negative I have about this is that it's a little larger than I would hope. But I love the mix of titles and the makeup brush, door knocker, trowel, ginkgo, mortar and pestle, spray bottle. That's funny. I like it. It's a smart deck. I like it. It's a style that I'm really interested in. So there we go. So the next one is one that I recently added because it came across my feed, and that is the In Dragonfly Shade Lenormand. So this is fucking cool. It's really beautiful, and it's a Lenormand, but it is a diamond shape. Now you could use it sideways and not even do the diamond and just go straight, tableau style grid system, which is something that I would consider. But basically like this, you could just use it this way. You don't have to use it in the diamond shape like that. And typically with Lenormand, I do not like to deviate too much from that grid system. I wouldn't say I'm a traditionalist at all. I really not. I like to experiment with things. But in general with Lenormand, I like to keep it straight grid style, So this is different. But I don't know, it calls to me. And I love the Japanese style. I love the Japanese theme of it. And so I really want this. However, just as I was setting all this up and about to do the recording, I realized, look at the shipping cost. Oh my God. And it's probably because it ships from Italy, but holy shit. So it's kind of getting dashed from my wish list because there's no fucking way. But it is so beautiful. I'm gonna maybe see if I can find it somewhere else. Because my God, it's beautiful. And there's other stuff by this creator, I believe, that also has really beautiful art. So like the Nursemaid's 36 Tales playing cards, basically, essentially. So is this a Lenormand or is this playing cards? I'm not sure. 36. Oh, it's a Lenormand card. So this is also a Lenormand. Again, that Japanese style, yokai. Definitely into that. But let's see. Yep. Look at that shipping. Oh my God. And it's probably because it ships from Italy. Oh, and I saw this one before too. Yes, I think this is what initially brought me to this creator, because I saw someone else using this and I thought it was absolutely fucking stunning, and it's so beautiful. Yeah, Alexander Daniloff. That's the creator. Yeah, this is gorgeous. The Lenormand Oracle by Alexander Daniloff. So I would kind of call it the Daniloff or Lenormand. Yeah, I absolutely love this. It's very medieval looking and right up my alley there. So yeah, there's a lot. This art style is absolutely stunning. But yeah, it looks like it's really not available for US because the shipping cost is insane. All right, so that was one I added because it's unique. It's amazing art. I feel like I would enjoy using this and using it in a deviated style, using it in this sort of diamond tableau, and figuring, like, I love this idea. Maybe I'll create my own diamond style Lenormand and kind of experiment with it a little bit and see if I even like doing a diamond style, and what kind of readings I could glean from it and how I would read it in a diamond style like that, and see how it works, and then perhaps I might actually create something from that to sell, because that'd be really interesting. But this is amazing artwork. So if it ever becomes available to the United States again with reasonable shipping, then I will snatch this one up because it is amazing. All right, so next up. Okay, so all right, so this is the Symbols of Small Truths Oracle, and it's created by Inner Reflect. I don't know this creator's actual name. We follow each other on Instagram, and I've had limited communication with this creator. But I love this Symbols of Small Truths Oracle. And and it's very much that style that I'm interested in. And they're pretty small, and they're kind of that see, look, the size is like bridge card size, and it's great for tableau style reading. The images are nice, crisp, clear, done very nicely. So there's a couple issues. One, because it's shipping from Belgium, it's like double the cost. It's $37. Shipping is $35. So that's the main thing that's keeping me from getting this. The other thing that's keeping me from getting this, and no shade to this creator whatsoever, they're doing some amazing work, and they are obviously putting their heart and soul into these projects. But they're very open about the fact that these decks are created with the assistance of AI, and I don't know how I feel about that. Like, I respect the hell out of the fact that they are really open and upfront about it. And, these are not slapped together decks. Each one is done very well. This Lenormand is gorgeous. I'm really considering that too, because it's a gorgeous Lenormand. And there's obviously a lot of heart and soul put into these decks. I don't totally agree with conscious and unconscious for the top line and the bottom line of a 9 card, and I also would not have a querying card underneath, but that's just me. But different people do the spreads differently. So anyway, but there's a lot of thought, heart, and intention put into these decks. I don't know how I feel about getting a deck, and also getting a deck knowing that it is created with AI. Yeah. It's done so well though. It is done so well, and I really love I really love this deck. This would be the one that I would get. But and I'm not qualified to go into depth on the issues with AI. I'm not qualified. I'm not as informed on the intricacies of AI. But I do know that some generative AI is causing havoc on our environment, especially in water, not just wasting water, but also polluting water. And there's communities that have been destroyed, and lives that have been destroyed from generative AI data center type things, just completely destroying the environment in certain areas. So I have really serious concerns about AI, and I know that AI also it is useful in some ways, AI in and of itself isn't necessarily a bad thing. A lot of it is the generative AI. It's the other aspects of it. It's the willy-nilly use of it versus medical use, etc. There are some great uses for AI. But I just don't know how I feel about that. So I'm conflicted, And so if this, and this creator could also put their stuff up on, MakePlayingCards or Game Crafters, whatever, and it would be a lot cheaper to get the deck. And I probably would, well, I won't say it would, because I'm still not sure how I feel about it with the AI stuff. So it is what it is. But I highly respect that they're at least completely upfront on the fact that this is made with the assistance of AI. So that, they're not trying to hide anything. They are very much saying, use it, like, these are created with AI. So yeah. So this is kind of an up in the air thing for me. I'm considering it. I'm not sure. All right. So with that said, we're gonna finish this off by coming to Tavada. And here's the thing, Tavada, this may be one of those creator companies that probably, and I don't know for sure, but they might be using AI for things, and I actually have no idea. And that's, I have no proof one way or the other, because this is a company of decks. And some of them are created by other creators that they sell through Tavada. But I don't know. It's a mix of decks, and I don't know each individual creator of some of these decks. Because that's also the case for like Scribblist. Scribblist is like that too, and sometimes some Scribblist decks are also sold through Tavada. But so the whole reason this one's on my page right now is because of the Orchid Valley Tarot. Now this makes me think of the Boo Tarot, but I really like this one. And I do kind of like the Boo Tarot, but I kind of like this one a little bit more. And I do know that I like a lot of the cardstock from Tavada or Scribblist. I do. And I've heard that the Boo Tarot kind of has not super great cardstock. So I'm not sure. But I do really like this one. It's one of the cute ones, and it's kind of an alternative to that Boo Tarot, I think. But because it does look like little ghosties. I think that's what it is. I think it's little ghosties. But I do like this one. I like this one quite a bit, and it's high on my list. Ooh, that devil card is super cute. Oh, look at that. Oh my god, I love that. So I do really like this deck. So other ones from Tavada that I'm interested in. So is it these ones? There's these Chinese decks that are really amazing. I think this is one of them. Obviously if you know anything about my channel and stuff, I've been learning Japanese for a few years now. I think like 3 years now. And and by the way, I can barely form a sentence in Japanese, but I did pass the N5 in 2024, at the end of 2024, December. So I passed the N5. I do have a certificate. I am able to do basic stuff in Japanese. But yeah, but the funny thing is, I've been looking for tarot decks that are Japanese, and very specifically with Japanese writing, like the language on there instead of English. It could also have English, but I really want Japanese decks, Japanese language decks, and that is really difficult to find. I do have a few ish. Yeah, I have a couple decks that are all in Japanese. But yeah, but I find that with tarot, with Japanese tarot, they tend to, even when I go onto Japanese tarot YouTube channels and pick cards, things like that, that are all done in Japanese, and Japanese TikTokers that do tarot and stuff, they all use like English English language tarot. So I think that's part of the issue with trying to find Japanese decks, is that a lot of Japanese people just use English tarot, and whereas Chinese decks are different. Chinese tarot, they actually use Chinese. So I often find Chinese tarot decks or oracle decks. And yeah, so yeah, anyway, but I don't really know any Chinese, and I'm not interested in learning Chinese, but because of my interest in Japanese, they do use a lot of the same kanji. So some of it I'm able to glean what it means, just because I happen to know that kanji in Japanese. But some of the kanji is different. So yeah, so it's one of those things. But the Chinese decks, and it's not just this one. I can't remember what they're called. Oh my gosh, what is it? Robin at Robin's Reflections has a few of them, and they're really nice. Maybe they're not even on Tivada. They might be on different things. But anyway, there's some Chinese oracle decks that are they're very similar. Oh, not this one, but they're the one that I was just looking at. They're very similar in this style. Very ethereal looking, like kind of mystical, wispy even. And there's a lot of that style that I am interested in, and I love that style. It's beautiful. I love that it's in Chinese. It looks like it also has English on it, but I love these. I think they're gorgeous. It's not Japanese, it's Chinese, but I do love it. All right, so was there anything else on Tivada? All right, I'm on their website right now. So like oracle decks, let me see, because we're probably going to see a bit more here than what's on Etsy, perhaps. I'm not sure actually. So tarot, let's see. Oh, and the manga tarot is also one that I'm kind of interested in, but it's very similar to the storyboard tarot, and I'm not sure if I want to get this one or not. I know there's some creators that absolutely love this manga tarot, and I am kind of interested. And this looks like it is Vietnamese, probably. Perhaps, yeah. I think it's Vietnamese. So like I am interested. It's just because I have the storyboard tarot, it's a very similar style, but it's almost like it's two different vibes. The storyboard is very feminine, almost very like little girl or old lady. That's kind of the vibe it gives me. Whereas this one feels a bit more masculine, I guess. And I'm genderizing it, but whatever. Yeah, and so it could be two different vibes. So, but it's one of those things that's like, is this going to operate the same space in my collection? But that's kind of cool. That's a little bit of perhaps some Japanese there. Yeah, cool. So yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things like it's kind of on my list, but I don't know if the storyboard tarot kind of takes the place of this. So there's that one. So yeah, and that one's also really nice too. But anyway, I could keep searching through here. There's lots of different decks I could like drool over. This little ducky one's really cute. There's other ones from Tivada that are nice. But basically Orchid Valley is the one that's top on my list right now. Oh gosh, that Christmas elf one. Yeah. There's a bunch on Shuffle Tarot too that I also like. Oh, here's one of the ones that are like kind of like what I was talking about. But it's out of stock right now anyway. But this sort of vibe, these Chinese decks, they're really nice, and I just wish there were more Japanese decks, and Japanese language decks. But anyway, all right, so that is it. I think we will end that here, and there we go. All right, so thank you so much for watching, everyone. Let me know what's on your wish list. Let me know if there's anything on this list that you're interested in. And there are definitely things that I forgot that once I remember it, I'm gonna probably buy it. So my wish list is not a clear-cut thing. It's subject to change, and it's just in this moment, these are the things that I'm thinking about the most and am most likely going to get, and some of these things I may not get. So yeah, I'm trying to be more conscientious about what I'm bringing in. I have limited space. That's the primary thing. I have limited space, and I don't want to be overrun by decks, and I don't necessarily need to use every single one of my decks all the time, every time, so, but at the same time, I don't want to just spend willy-nilly on decks, and that's just me personally. Everyone's going to do what's right for them. Yeah, but anyway, so thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!